Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about music teachers and the process of finding a private teacher and also the process of leaving a private teacher. So when you're looking, it's great to take recommendations from friends and also other teachers and people in the community, but really the only thing that can tell you whether this person's right for you is taking a trial lesson. I really think that it's important for teachers to offer them because one, do you really want to work with someone that you don't work well with for the next however long just because you didn't take the time to figure out that you didn't work well with them? And also, as a student, you don't want to waste your money and time with someone who you don't get along with or doesn't teach you the way that you learn. And while they might be a great teacher for someone else, if they don't work well with you, that's not a relationship that's worth building, and it's not worth your time or money to study with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, I know a lot of the really great teachers that I've worked with or I'm friends with will turn down students that they don't think are a good fit. And that's an amazing quality in a teacher. And while maybe they're not the best fit for you, it's someone that you should respect and maybe take recommendations from because they're turning down their paycheck and their livelihood for your musical development. And that's an amazing thing. And there are some teachers out there who kind of think that it's a one-size-fits-all thing. They don't offer trial lessons, and I think that's a warning sign. Maybe they'll work out super well for you and it'll be great, but it's something to think about before you sign a contract or start studying with someone that you've never worked with before. Another way to do it is a masterclass or a summer study kind of thing where you get to work with them in a different situation and then you later on you work with them privately. But either way, having worked with the person before you really start working with them directly is a really important thing. When you're going to university, everyone recommends that you go take a lesson with a professor and make sure that they're who you want to work with. So why is it different for someone studying privately? It's true for little kids and it's also true for adults. I think a lot of people don't realize that private study is just as important as professional study. Learning music as a hobby or as enjoyment is important, and if you're working with someone who doesn't make it fun or doesn't make it enjoyable, then why are you doing it? That's a good amount of money and a good amount of time on something that you want to enjoy but aren't. So working with someone that works well with you is incredibly important. A lot of people go through music academies or prep divisions and things like that, and it's a little harder to choose your teacher then because they might only have one teacher, they might only have a couple slots in each studio kind of thing. And I know when I was in CIM prep, I did take a trial lesson with my flute teacher, but when my teacher retired from CIM prep, he actually recommended that I went to a private studio because he knew me and didn't specially think that I was going to work well with the other professors at the prep division. Who knows if that was the case? I was 14 and didn't know any better, but it worked out pretty well for me. With that, inquire, see if it's possible. If they have multiple teachers, they probably have some kind of trial system set up. And if they don't, see if there are other options before you really lock yourself into that. It's an investment and it's important to find someone that you work well with. Then the last thing I want to talk about is moving on from a teacher. And that is a very uncomfortable thing, especially if it's someone you've worked with for a long time, because you have a relationship with them, you trust them, they might even be a family friend or someone that you care about a lot. And I'd like to think that the best of the best music teachers know that sometimes students need to move on. I was incredibly lucky when I was in high school that my second teacher, the one I moved from CIM prep to, acknowledged that at a certain point she couldn't help me the way she wanted to and helped me move on. And she in fact said straight up to me, I can get you into university, but I don't think I can get you into the universities you deserve to go to. And that's an incredible statement to make because again, you're giving up your livelihood. In this case, I had studied with her for 2 years. So it was a relationship that she'd established. It was a student she had in her studio that she didn't have to give up because I wasn't ready to leave, at least I thought. But she was really aware of what my goals were, what I wanted to do, and knew that she wasn't the best person for the job. And that is incredible, and I can't thank her enough for that. But sometimes, unfortunately, the teacher isn't as aware. And then it's a very uncomfortable situation. I never, ever recommend leaving without telling your teacher that you're leaving, because then that's just a betrayal almost. And unfortunately, people are a little vindictive sometimes. And while I hope that would never be the case, it's not always gonna be that way. I think being open and honest and saying that you appreciated their time and everything they've done for them, but you feel like a new situation is better, is the best policy. And hopefully they'll understand that, and if not, you're leaving, so it's not like you're gonna have to work with this person very, very much longer. And honestly, if they're that vindictive or that angry about it, then maybe it was a good thing you moved on. And I know that conversation is incredibly awkward and incredibly uncomfortable, but having it is better than not, for sure. Because then, one, they might find out later that you went to someone else and feel very hurt by it. They're not robots, they're humans, and they have feelings, and they also have livelihoods, and if they know you're leaving, they can open their studio up for another person, or they know that they need to find other income elsewhere. And that's important too, because these people tend to make their living with students. So losing one isn't just a personal blow, it's also a financial blow. And having that knowledge before it happens is important, because then they can make accommodations. Basically, the easiest way to leave a teacher is a couple weeks before your last lesson, say, hey, I'm not gonna come back next year. I think I want a new experience, or there's another person I'd really like to work with. I really appreciate everything that you've done for me, and I really wanna thank you, and leave it at that. And that's respectful and nice, and it gives them a good amount of time to find someone else. A lot of the time, people take off time over the summer anyway, and so studios kind of run in the school year situation as well. So it gives them the whole summer to figure out how many students they need and everything like that, and know that you're not coming back, so that they can plan their schedules accordingly. Basically, the rules are work with the person before you sign a contract, or work with them for a long period of time, and tell them when you're leaving. It's as easy as that. And there's more complications within that in terms of schedule and price and everything like that. But basically being open with what you want and what you are interested in and where you're going next is the most important thing. And hopefully the people in your town or around you are incredible and are aware of the fact that music isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of teaching style. And yeah. If you like this video, give it a like. If you're new here, subscribe. If you want to support me more, check out my Patreon, and I'll see you guys on Thursday.